infinitely easier to put your bolts or nuts on for the starter if you have it outside the car. And you'll know if you do this what I mean, because trying to do this in that infinitely small space is not ideal. It's doable, but if you can get around doing that, I would do it this way. Especially since I don't have a radiator and condenser in front of me. Makes this a whole lot easier. All right, there's that. And now we can bring this down and into slot here. I need to go get the cover for the flywheel. So let me set this up here and go do that real quick. All right, so finally found it. We're gonna just slide that down into place. Our starter bolts. Just thread in. Pretty simple. I think these are size 13s, millimeter heads. Let's get them started. All right, so now that's in, and the issue with trying to get this in after the fact is done. We can start to put the mount or the rest of the harness on and get it into place. So we'll do that next. All right, so zooming you in here, you have the main engine harness that comes over. Let's get out of the way. So this comes over and connects in to the top of the engine harness. Click it into place, slide it on that, and this is supposed to fit in there. So make sure that red tab is slid in, let you know it's fully in. Put that down. All right. Then we'll come over here. This cable goes and connects to the EGR. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Can you see that? This cable right here connects down here to the EGR. Let me turn it up. This orange one connects to the EGR. I didn't hear a click, so there might not be a click for that. And you have this yellowish prong connects into the throttle body. And then this connector goes down to the IAC. And I'm gonna bring that for you. Bring it down so you can see that. All right, so here's this connector, 2-prong, gonna connect right into the IAC. So look at that. That's a whole bunch of them already done. Pretty easy, right? All right, so now you have this big connector here. That big red one right there. This big connector will connect up to the upper, I guess the upper engine harness, engine cable. Yeah, engine harness. It just, I mean, this one here, it can't fit anywhere else. Is what I'm trying to say. So get all this tape out of the way. Right, so it just connects in like that. Boom. So that one's done. Now you have a series of negative battery terminals that you need to put out of the way, because they're going to go over here. This one's going to go for the battery, so you can put that out of the way for now. All right, what else do we have? We have this cable down here. This cable right here is for the map sensor, so we're not going to use that right now. We're gonna free it up from its bind. But get it out of the way. All right, so now we're on to installing the lower engine harness. And we'll start with these two really important pigtails that need to connect to the engine pigtails here in the back. And I'll see if you can see that in a second. Yeah, it's that one right there. It connects to the black one. And there is another one here that connects to the beige one. All right, so you got the beige one and you got the black one. Beige goes with beige, just connects in, pops in like that. And then the black goes with the black. Just connects in, clicks in place like that. You stuff those back down in there. All right, so your O2 sensor pigtails, they need to, let me bring you in the engine here. Your O2 pigtails are designed to fit on this little bracket that's down here. So right here, get myself some room here. So right, I'm sorry about the camera work. Right here, in this spot, and in this spot for the black one. And then you put your O2 sensors into these. Your top one, or sensor 1, bank 1, and sensor 2. All right, now let me back you up here. This lower engine harness needs to go below, so you want to make sure that you feed it down below the engine because it's the lower engine harness. All right, I'm gonna put you back in the tripod. So like I said, we are going to feed the lower engine harness through the bottom under all the other stuff while we have access to do so. This gets much harder when you have hoses and tubes and stuff for air intake control modules in the way. Much more difficult to get this down here. But now it's super easy. Just like that. Let me bring you in. We already talked about this, so this is out of the question. Now we have this one to mount. And this one goes right here. I forget what they call this thing, but it connects into the intake manifold. I forget what sensor that is. It's like intake manifold sensor. This one is not used on the 2.5 Mazda CX-7 intake manifold. You won't have this. This one right here connects to the oil pressure sensor. This is down here. Clicks into place. All right, so usually you would put this pigtail, this is for your intake manifold runner controls up here, but I won't be needing this because I no longer need intake manifold runner controls with this particular intake manifold. Over here we need to connect a couple of things. I guess I could show you. This goes to the AC compressor. And the really important one, the one I'm really going to focus on today, is the crankshaft position sensor. This one goes all the way down here on the bottom. All right, to get down here, you gotta reach behind it over here. Man, this is some pretty good quality right here. Jeez. Slide that in place. Just like that. We'll deal with all the other stuff in a moment. All right, so that kind of gets us in a really good spot to stop for today. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. Oh, trying to finish it up. All right, so engine mount, left hand mounting transaxle, lower, we're not worried about that right now. Upper, got 98 on the big bolt, and on the 4 smaller ones, we got 35 foot-pounds. second thing is you want to set the passenger side mount first. All right, so there you have it. If you did have a knocking noise coming from the brake hardware. All right, so next I want to put on this oil filter housing, but obviously I need to clean it first, so as you can see. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna put on the bearings.